Hey guys, good morning. Just want to share with you a few final thoughts about ear infections. You know, we've been talking about ear infections, and we did a workshop on Saturday. Had a couple nice folks come out, hear what we had to say. I think we reached them. But I have a few final thoughts that I'd like to share with you. You know, if you knew what I knew, you'd do what I do. So here it is. If you knew that, conventional wisdom is that ear infections are caused by bacteria, but the research actually says that it's really more like 70% is virus. And we take antibiotics to kill bacteria. It doesn't work on virus, and 70% of ear infections, the pathogens found, is actually virus. So no wonder the antibiotics don't work, and no wonder kids' ear infections keep coming back. What happens if you don't fix the problem? It just keeps getting worse and worse over time. And this is what happened to these kids, and they end up with tympanostomies or ear tubes, and hey, it's not working. Go figure. Well, the truth is that it's not the bacteria nor the virus that's causing the ear infection. In fact, what's happening is that there's a tube just behind your ear called a eustachian tube, and it drains fluid from the ear. It's normal to have fluid in there. It allows the ear to work. Well, guess what? If it's not draining out of there, the normal bacteria and virus and microflora that are there, guess what? It gets out of balance. The body mounts an immune response. Your child starts digging in their ear. They start pulling on the ear. And the next thing you know, they got a little fever. They're fussy. They can't sleep at night. And you're miserable. Parents, you're worried, sick, because your child is screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night. And you end up taking them to the hospital or to your doctor the very next morning. And, of course, then their therapy is, we'll give you antibiotic. Well, the research out there just says it doesn't work. And it's only 10 to 20% effective. It doesn't alleviate the fluid buildup in the ear. Neither do antihistamines. And the research is pretty powerful. So what's the real answer? How do you really fix the thing? Well, let me tell you. The reason that the eustachian tube is not draining is because there's a misalignment in the body, pinching the nerves that control this little bitty muscle called the tensor veli palatini. Look it up. And guess what? It's innervated by nerves that come from the neck. And the function of the tensor veli palatini is to open and close that eustachian tube. In a child, you know what? In an infant, that tube is so small, so the slightest increase in tone in that muscle, just a little bit, is enough to block the drainage from the ear and then create the conditions for an ear infection. In an adult, we have the same thing going on, but guess what? We're so much bigger, it's harder for that tube to close off. So, what we do for our children is check them out. We find that misalignment up here, and that vertebra so close to the skull called C1, C2, or C3, maybe C4. If it's out of alignment, we put it back, gently. Back. Get pressure off that nerve that goes to the tensor veli palatini muscle. And once it releases, the fluid starts draining from the ear again. And guess what? We fix the problem. No more ear infections. In fact, it's over 80% effective by research. My assistant, she's had a hard time with sinus problems, ear infections, and the like over her lifetime. Her EENT, her ear, nose, and throat specialist, just told her, keep going to the chiropractor because he's the one that's going to get that tension out of the tensor veli palatini, and he's the one that's going to help you get that fluid draining out of that ear so you can feel better and better again. The same is true for our children. Well, listen, guys, I hope you take that to heart. Hey, you don't like what I had to say? Look it up. All you got to do, tensor veli palatini, look at the action of the muscle and the innervation, and you'll begin to see that, hey, I'm telling you something you need to know. And we're going to save these kids' lives. So anyway, that's all I have to say for today. I hope you have a great one wherever you are, and we look forward to meeting you and seeing healthier and healthier kids in our community.